Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. And if you've not heard us yet since the new year, Happy New Year to you as well. Of course, Premier League action underway now in this new year. Although yesterday we had a couple of games from the previous round of fixtures. This, in theory, is the first game of the next round of fixtures, which go through today, tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, before we take a week-long break for the FA Cup. But Premier League action back in earnest after the World Cup break. And Brentford against Liverpool, this was an absolute belter last season at Brentford's ground, finishing 3-3. And Brentford will certainly be hoping to try and match Liverpool in terms of their attacking threat. Liverpool themselves perhaps not quite as threatening as they were this time last season, but it should hopefully be a good open game here at the Gtech Community Stadium. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Matt Guy taking you through the action. And Matt, both sides know that they can score against their opposition this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a Liverpool team that are not as scary on paper, are they, as they once were over the last few years under Jurgen Klopp. You know that you can score against them. Only 3 clean sheets so far this season, and those 3 goals will add to that for Brentford today. They will be up for it despite not having Tony.
Absolutely. Tony is an absentee for Brentford this evening. Brentford on the attack straight away. There was Norgard heads the ball towards the edge of the area. Wissa tried to flick it on for Mbeumo, but that one is cleared up towards the halfway line where it's headed on by Nunez, but that should be picked up by Pinnock. Pinnock then lays that ball off to Zanka Jorgensen, who then clatters into the Nunez. It wasn't the best pass from Pinnock, in fairness. Zanka Jorgensen is trying to argue the case, but with less than a minute and a half on the clock, Stuart Atwell's already got his cards out, and that's going to be the first booking. And it's a clumsy one from Zanka, but he didn't really have a choice with the ball that he got in the first place.
No, absolutely not. He tries to pull his leg back in the end, but he does catch the Uruguayan, doesn't he? That's one thing. There's question marks over Nunez's head. I'm sure we'll speak about that, but one thing it will give you, it will chase down everything. It's exactly what he's done. He's got the ball first, and instant yellow card. The referee has set himself out of stall already. He
has, although I suppose on the other hand, if he didn't give a yellow card for that, it was a tactical foul there from Zanka Jorgensen. So Liverpool with an early set piece, they're around 40 yards out. And it's going to be a left-footed ball in from Tsimikas, aimed at around about the 10, 12-yard mark. Both sets of players with their arms up to say it should be our ball, but the referee goes with Liverpool's appeals that it is going to be a corner kick. Must have come off the head of a Brentford player. Once we get a break-in play, I'll remind you of the 2-11s as well, but it has been a pretty blistering start. Brentford tried to go on the attack straight away. Liverpool then cleared their lines, won themselves a free kick, and they've now won themselves a corner. It's going to be an outswinger from Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's got plenty of tall players to aim for inside that penalty area. And one of the leading players for Brentford in terms of clearing corner kicks is actually Ivan Toney as well. So there will be another miss for the Bees this evening as the corner kick comes in. It's headed away. Looks like Yano got his head to that. It's Harvey Elliott puts a second ball in. Nobody watches Van Dijk. And that one somehow goes over the bar with Raya making a quite unbelievable save. I think the flag may have gone up in any case anyway. But once again, Brentford famously poor at dealing with set pieces. And the second ball that comes in here, I mean, in fairness, I'll give some credit to Brentford because at least they did get out quickly and have an offside line. They trusted themselves on that. But even so, what a save that is from Raya.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It's a ball that comes out to Oxlade-Chamberlain. He does the right thing, doesn't he, and finds Elliott, who just stands it to that far post. And Van Dijk has stayed up, of course, from the corner routine. He just tries to slash at it, doesn't he? But David Raya, what a left hand that is. The Spanish World Cup goalkeeper, of course, that didn't manage to get a game, but flicks it onto the bar. It bounces off the bar a second time and somehow goes behind.
Well, absolutely. Well, you mentioned that he didn't play at the World Cup. I've got to say that I could probably think of 4 or 5 Spanish nationals goalkeepers that are better than Unai Simon. I was quite surprised that he actually got the nod ahead of the other keeper scores. David De Gea not even in the World Cup squad altogether. And the other 2 goalkeepers were actually David Raya, as you mentioned, and Brighton's Robert Sanchez as well. You'd think that De Gea were getting ahead of Robert Sanchez, but I suppose it's what Luis Enrique was planning for that World Cup. Meantime, here come Brentford now down the left-hand side. A ball cleared out by Konate. And we'll run you through the 11s very quickly. Raya is in goal for Brentford. A back 3 of Jorgensen, Pinnock and Mee. Roslev and Henry are the 2 wide men, with Jensen, Norgard and Yano as the 3 in midfield. And Mbeumo and Wissa are the 2 up front. For Liverpool, it's Alisson in goal. Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Tsimikas make up the back 4. Elliott, Fabinho and Thiago Alcantara, the midfield 3 with Mo Salah, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Darwin Nunez as the attacking 3. Throw on to Brentford down the left-hand side. It's level with the penalty area, so this is going to be a long ball launched in now by Matthias Jensen towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Nunez with the header away, and then Roslev tried to stop the ball, but in doing that, he actually took it off his own teammate. And Liverpool can now counter here down the left-hand side. Oxlade-Chamberlain gets the ball into Tsimikas. Tsimikas' ball back to his teammate isn't a good one. on. And Rico Henry quite happy to concede the throw on.
Yeah, wrong pass in the end. Nunez was breaking forward down the left-hand side. He was the man that cleared the ball with the head at front post from that corner kick. He was the right pass. I don't think the Greeks saw him, though.
No, but as you said, that's one thing you do get from Nunez. Sometimes his quality and his finishing has been questioned. The few games I've done of Liverpool, I've been frustrated on a few occasions where he insists on shooting when he could actually try and look for a pass. But as I say, it's not like he doesn't hear these comments across social media. He'll be aware of what pundits are saying, and he's trying to counter that with absolute maximum effort. And you've certainly seen that in these first few minutes already, as he's been involved for Liverpool. Liverpool in their change at all green strip this evening. Brentford, as always, in red and white stripes at home, as Oxlade-Chamberlain over towards the right-hand side now for Alexander-Arnold. Finds Harvey Elliott. Brentford trying to keep an offside line, but Liverpool pushing them further and further back. Elliott now over to Salah. Salah tries a left-footed ball in. It's cleared by the knee of Ethan Pinnock back into midfield. Jensen then tries to hook it away for Brentford. Gets a decent amount of distance on that, but Konate reads that clearance and puts Liverpool back into possession, although Trent Alexander-Arnold's ball down the right-hand side does just nip out for a throw. Brentford now with a chance to try and keep possession, but you can see that Liverpool don't want to give Brentford any time to settle on the ball.
No, absolutely not. Harvey Elliott was breaking down the right-hand side there, wasn't he? But Mo Salah had almost gone into a defensive position out wide of him and put that searching cross into the near post. It's an awkward one. We saw Fowles have a nightmare with it against Liverpool last game, but it wasn't the best cross in the end.
No, we had a nightmare in general, didn't he, in the last game? Poor old Wout Weis. But, yeah, that's certainly Liverpool. We're very grateful to them because it was a bit of a slow start for them at Anfield in their last game. It's a combination of pressure and those own goals soon turn things around.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be looking to start today quickly as well, won't they? Of course, I mean, Brentford, they won in the end against West Ham, but in fact, West Ham were quite good in the first half.
They were, yeah. Brentford got their goals in the first half, but West Ham certainly would have been frustrated about the amount of possession they had and not being able to convert it. In the second half, West Ham just looked a little bit tired, really, a little bit bereft of ideas, which might be an issue for them as the season wears on. But this is a great ball in from Salah, and Raya hesitated. That's fantastic work from Ben Mee to stop the ball on the line. It seemed to me like David Raya was favourite to get to that, but there was a moment of hesitation. That allowed Nunez to get in, and he was playing that towards goal. Raya was beaten, but there is Ben Mee on the line to save Brentford.
Well, you can't catch a break. You can't catch a break. Darwin Nunez chases onto the ball, gets there first, as you said, Paul, and just steers it down the middle of the goal. He doesn't go left, he doesn't go right, he goes right down the middle, and Ben Mee does the right thing, doesn't he? We've seen it down the years so many times from Ben Mee. Experienced defending, sniffs out the danger, and stops Nunez from scoring. Well,
there's quite a few Brentford fans I know who feel that Ben Mee might be the best free transfer that signing that Brentford have ever made, and you've got to say he's really slotted into this team, and superb work there to stop that one going in at the far post. But Brentford, well, they just cannot hold on to the ball in midfield at the moment. 8 minutes gone, and it's pretty much been all Liverpool, with Fabinho now in midfield, going back towards Van Dijk. Thiago Alcantara now over on the left-hand side, been stopped here by Jensen. Goes back to Van Dijk. Oxlade-Chamberlain's dropped a bit deeper this time, and he's got a runner here on the left in Tsimikas, and that's where the ball has gone. Tsimikas back into midfield here for Thiago Alcantara. Brentford just keeping their offside level with the edge of the penalty area, trying to condense things as much as they can. That's all they can do at the moment. They can't really take the ball off Liverpool as it stands. So Konate now over towards Thiago Alcantara on the left-hand side. He's got 3 or 4 options ahead of him. He tries to switch play now over towards the right. That's a hopeful ball, and it's cut out here by Rico Henry, who tries to go through the gears. He gets away from Alexander-Arnold. He can't get away from Harvey Elliott, and Elliott does pretty much what Zanka Jorgensen did in the second minute, and it ends with the same result. It's going to be a booking here for Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he knows, doesn't he, that Henry's going to play the ball down that side, and with a half-hearted effort, almost sticks the leg out to try and win the ball, but in the end he just throws his body in, doesn't he? It's a guaranteed yellow card from that position, and he kind of had to do it, didn't he, because the ball was terrible from Thiago across the field straight to Henry, and as soon as he's past Elliott, as you said, he's past Alexander-Arnold, he's in.
It wasn't a good ball from Thiago Alcantara. The direction was wrong, and also it was hit far too lightly, so the Brentford players had plenty of time to get into position themselves. It's a free kick to Brentford, maybe 5 yards inside their own half, just before the halfway line, but it still doesn't stop David Raya coming up to take this free kick. Liverpool doing what they can to play as high an offside line as possible. As Raya's ball now towards the edge of the area. Norgard heads it into the box. Bit of a slice clearance there from Thiago Alcantara. It's back with Matthias Jensen. Under pressure here, Jensen can't quite get the ball out from under his feet, And he's robbed of it now, and here come Liverpool down the left-hand side with Darwin Nunez. He's got 3 people running with him here if he can pick out the right pass. It's Oxlade-Chamberlain, or maybe the pass was intended for Harvey Elliott. And that look from the youngster Elliott back towards Oxlade-Chamberlain tells me that it's Liverpool's number 19 that wanted that ball.
Yeah, it was in behind Oxlade-Chamberlain, wasn't it? And that means that he slows everything down by trying to take that touch, but it's on the left foot of Elliott, his favoured foot. He could have struck a goal, but it's good covering defending, isn't it, from Norgard to get past and just get the foot in there quickly and tow it back towards goal. But yeah, once again, Liverpool breaking, just not finding that killer pass.
They're not finding the killer pass, but they're breaking with relative ease, you've got to say, in these first 10 minutes. And it's only been a couple of counter-attacks for Liverpool, because the rest of the time they've pretty much been in the dominant possession situation anyway. It's just down to how Brentford can now try to break that up. There's a long clearance from Raya, headed on by Roslev, chased down by Wissa, but Liverpool already back in possession. Thiago now square to Elliott, Konate. The ball up towards the halfway line. Mo Salah back into Harvey Elliott. And then it's a loose ball. It eludes 2 Liverpool players here on the left-hand side. And you can just about saw the top of Jurgen Klopp there in the camera pictures that we're getting, TV pictures that we're getting. And you can see that he was getting a bit agitated there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think the ball was intended for Elliott, but once he takes it over, he tries to create something, doesn't he? Just slides it in front of Thiago, who I don't think could see the ball that was coming because the Brentford man was in the way. And in the end, it goes nowhere near Tsimikas either, just held between the 2 of them.
Long clearance this time from Ben Mee, which could end up being like a good long ball here from the Brentford centre-back. It's chased all the way down to the edge of the area there by Rico Henry, but it's cleared back into midfield as Norgard now back for Mads Roslev. He looked up thinking about playing a long ball into the box, but thought better of it. Leaves it now for Janelt. Zanke Jorgensen. Over towards Roslev, who just about gets the ball away from Oxlade-Chamberlain. That plays a lovely 1-2 here with Jensen, but then the cross is charged down by Thiago Alcantara. It's out for a throw to Brentford on the right-hand side.
Liverpool got a good couple of feet in there, didn't they? But Brentford's determination to win the ball back and then the skill to flick it down the line was fabulous, to just continue the attack. And in the end, it's fortunate, rather, for Thiago that he blocks the ball away, because he just hangs a leg up there, doesn't he? And I think Roslev actually slipped or tripped as he was playing the ball. He's off balance.
Yeah, it was. It feels like it's a consolation for Brentford to only have this throw, but actually there was a good chance they could have lost the ball with that slight stumble there from Roslev that you mentioned. Matthias Jensen, he's Brentford's long throw specialist. So he often does these run-ups for a long throw that ends up taking a short one anyway, just to surprise everyone. On this occasion, it is actually a long throw launched at the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Nunez, straight back to the throw-on taker Jensen, headed towards the edge of the area, and then Janelt tries an effort at goal, but he was being so quickly closed down. He was so worried about getting the ball on target that in the end he never really got the power behind it. It was a routine save for Alisson, whose long clearance is picked off by Brentford. They're straight on the attack. I'm not quite sure why Mbeumo waited so long to pass to Henry there. There was at least 5 yards before Henry would have been offside, but Brentford lose the ball in the meantime. And it's Salah playing it back to Thiago, who's being hounded there by Wissa, but he keeps possession for Liverpool. And now it's with Oxlade-Chamberlain. This is him and Tsimikas now down the left for Liverpool, still around 40 yards out. Forced to go back towards the halfway line. Konate now inside to Oxlade, towards Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold's got options left and right, just goes short to Salah. And back to Konate again, just slow and steady here from Liverpool. But all the time inside the Brentford half, just trying to find that one through ball, that one ball down the channel to break down this defence. As Tsimikas tries on the outside of the boot, he doesn't quite pull it off, but he gets the ball back anyway off Roslev. And then he switches play. Here is Alexander-Arnold now on the right-hand side. Plays the ball towards the edge of the area, flicks off Oxlade-Chamberlain, and now Thiago Alcantara into the box. Oxlade-Chamberlain looks up, plays it square, looking for Harvey Elliott. It's an unusual ball from Mbeumo, but because it was such an unusually sliced ball, it means that Raya can come out and actually catch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Not the greatest ball, was it, from Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Brentford holding strong once again in their positions. I suppose this is the pattern that we would rather expect, isn't it? I mean, Brentford have got the 4th least possession average in the season, and they like a long ball off the back of that. But, yeah, Liverpool just need to speed things up at times.
They do. I think that it's just a case that the longer you have that short exchange in midfield, and we saw it with a couple of teams that managed, with Morocco, who managed to surprise a couple of teams at the World Cup, notably Spain. It's the idea that just left to right sort of central possession doesn't really get you anywhere, even if it means that you're completely dominating and your opposition haven't got much of the ball. You're not actually doing much with the ball yourself. And as you say, Liverpool just needs to be a little bit more urgent as they give it away again with a long ball, which is picked off here by Rico Henry. And then Norgard tries a ball over the top to pick out Wissa. Wissa then tries one over his head, and it's over the bar. I do wonder if there's an offside flag. I think there probably was an offside flag, and we've got it confirmed now that Yoan Wissa had strayed offside. And we'll see from this replay, it wasn't actually as blatantly offside as I thought it was before we saw that replay. And I don't actually think he even needs to take the overhead kick on. He could actually turn and shoot himself there.
No, absolutely. I think it's Konate, isn't it? This just dropped when Van Dijk stepped up, and the touch is so heavy with his right foot that he doesn't get his body position in the right place, does he? And then he perhaps goes with the overhead, maybe because he might know he's offside, not sure, but I think the linesman did the right thing and let it run.
Yes, absolutely. It's always, you can always bring it back, although that's become a new bugbear for players on the pitch now, is the offside decision that takes a little bit too long to call. But I'd still rather lose 5 or 10 seconds of regulation play and let the move be completed than to then find out the player was onside and the linesman stopped it anyway by mistake. So it's always better to be safe than sorry. We've had 15 minutes coming up to 16 minutes on the clock. Independent, unofficial, off-tube studio commentary. It's Brentford 0, Liverpool 0. There's still one more commentary to come on our service this evening. It's also from West London, and it's in the Championship as Queen's Park Rangers take on Sheffield United. And based on the form of those two teams, it could be a long evening for the home side in that game. Much like in this game, I suppose, it's certainly shaping up to be a long evening for Brentford. Not really getting too much of the ball, although Liverpool are doing their best to give the ball away to Brentford, and they've just done so there again. A pass from Konate to Alexander-Arnold was a little bit overhit, and here comes Norgard now for Brentford, around 25 yards out, finds Rico Henry. Henry puts an early ball in, trying to find Mbeumo, who was always being... I think was that Nunez back inside his own, no, Tsimikas in fact, back inside his own penalty area, trying to cover there for Liverpool. But the cross-in was always a hopeful one rather than a direct one, I think.
It was, yeah. I mean, he's coming in at the far post. It's always a difficult angle to score from, isn't it? But with that 3-on-3 in midfield, and then the fullbacks getting forward for Brentford on occasion, it's causing a little bit of an overload. And there was two men back at the far post there for Brentford. So it's certainly an avenue they can get to, especially when Liverpool give the ball away. Too many sloppy passes in the midfield. I think that's been rather a continuation of throughout this season, has been gifting the opposition chances through the midfield, and this time it was Konate, just not on the same wavelength as Alexander-Arnold. I suppose it is his first game back from the World Cup, but even still, it's a simple pass. It's not hard to make.
It's got to be that little bit more focus, because Brentford have got enough pace in their team to really punish any kind of loose ball given away. But Liverpool now trying to get back into attacking possession themselves. Salah playing from a more deep position, trying to pick out Nunez. It's headed away back into midfield, straight back to Mo Salah. And that trusty left foot of his. Thought about playing it long, but just leaves it for Fabinho. He then goes back to Van Dijk, and Liverpool back on the halfway line here now. Thiago Alcantara, he tries an early ball looking for Nunez. He finds Nunez as well. He's able to turn away from Zanka Jorgensen, but then just the sheer presence of Norgard, he's able to dispossess Nunez, and then Wissa threads a lovely ball through here to Mbeumo, who is onside. Mbeumo breaking into the box, tries to stab it past Alisson, but he's a left footer shooting from that right-hand side. Didn't really have the angle to try and take it past Alisson, and it's only going to be a corner kick, but that's certainly a warning to Liverpool.
Brilliant chance, isn't it? Liverpool playing that high line and getting caught once again. It's great pace, isn't it, from Mbeumo? I think he knows that Van Dijk's coming across, so doesn't want to cut on his left foot, but that just closes his own angle off, and he has to go with his left foot in the end. Alisson is great, isn't it, covering off those angles, does well, covers it, but still it's a great chance for Brentford.
Yes, it's that modern goalkeeper that doesn't just rush in. It used to just be assumed that the keeper just dives at your feet to dispossess you as quickly as possible. Now the goalkeeper coach will advise you to stay on your feet for as long as possible to try and just force the striker into an early shot, and thus giving you a chance to close down the angles. But it's Mbeumo who takes the corner kick himself, aimed at the 6-yard box. Oh, and it's in the back of the net. How much does Ben Mee know about this one? I'm not even too sure. But it seems to just hit off the back of Ben Mee, and it creeps inside the near post. And on 19 minutes, Brentford take the lead.
Yeah, he's not celebrating too much, is it? But somehow that has crept into the bottom right-hand corner. It's a good ball into a dangerous area, isn't it? It goes over, I think, 2 Brentford heads as well as 2 Liverpool heads, and just drops at the midriff of Konate and Ben Mee, and just bounces down and catches Alisson completely off guard. Nobody attacking the ball for Liverpool.
Well, I think this might be off the thigh of Konate. I think Ben Mee moves away. Yeah, it is. It's the knee. It's the left knee of Ibrahima Konate. It's a really thread sort of finish. It really is by the post there. Fabinho misses it. It gets away from Ben Mee. And what was interesting was that Ben Mee was surrounded by his own teammates there, and he actually started pointing back towards the Liverpool box as if to say, look, I'm not taking credit for this, but Thomas Frank and his coaching staff, they certainly won't care. The only thing we're checking now is a possible handball. I'm not really sure where the handball could have come from. As it struck Ben Mee on the hand, as it was going past him. Well, the purple VAR screen is up now to check.
I love these handball decisions. It's so difficult. You don't know what the decision is going to be, because at one point the rule was any attacker in the build-up. Then the rule changed to the goal scorer only, and then now it's anything or here, there, and everywhere. No concrete evidence. Correct decision, not goal.
Absolutely, yeah. The goal has been given. So Liverpool with all the possession, a couple of decent chances. Brentford barely able to get out of their own half, but on 20 minutes it is Brentford who take the lead now, and straight away Jurgen Klopp's side under a little bit more pressure. But to say, this is the sort of stadium where Brentford are able to get goals against almost anybody. They've shown that. They had a 2-goal lead against Spurs on Boxing Day, which got pegged back. And considering how Spurs played yesterday against Aston Villa, Brentford might actually see that as 2 points dropped rather than a point gained against a side that's fighting for the top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know Liverpool love conceding goals this season, so it just adds to that continuation.
Yeah, but from the neutrals' point of view, it should just open up the game even more, because Liverpool will feel aggrieved that they're losing this game now. They certainly would have felt as though they had enough possession to put Brentford under more pressure. But it's a throw on to Liverpool now on the halfway line, right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold back in towards Van Dijk. It's Alexander-Arnold again. Brentford playing an even higher line now, just trying to condense their half of the field. But it's still not a bad effort there from Alexander-Arnold. Just plays a pass that's sort of behind Nunez and a little bit too far away from Oxlade-Chamberlain. Just looking at the Liverpool bench, they've got Gomez, Phillips, Jones, Keita, Matip, Robinson, Carvalho, Bajcetic and Kelleher. So there are a couple of attacking options missing there for Liverpool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course, there's the longer term absentees in Diaz and Jota. Of course, Gakpo couldn't get his work permit, so he's not available today as well. Of course, only officially a Liverpool player as of yesterday, but yeah, there's certainly some. Because
there was a time not that long ago where he wouldn't need a work permit coming from Holland, but this certainly isn't the platform to be discussing all of that right now. But yeah, they are big misses for Liverpool, and you look at Liverpool's form going into the World Cup break. It was pretty solid. And they've come back with wins against Villa and Leicester City. But the Leicester win in particular wasn't a sort of vintage performance. I think he just wants his side to be a little bit more expansive here, Jurgen Klopp. I'll get your thoughts on that in a second, because Liverpool are now trying to push forward again down the right-hand side, just trying to inject a little bit more pace into this possession. Salah down the right-hand side, but Brentford once again back in numbers. It's ball in from Alexander-Arnold. I thought that Pinnock could have left that for his goalkeeper, but it's Brentford's Ben Mee who hooks it clear up towards the halfway line. Straight away back towards the Brentford box here from Van Dijk. He then collides with Ibrahima, but that's never going to be a free kick to Brentford after something like that. Liverpool back in possession, and here is Harvey Elliott now, heading towards the edge of the area, switches play towards the left-hand side for Tsimikas. Tsimikas lifts it into the box. It's headed up in the air by Pinnock. Norgard gets a second head to it. One back here for Liverpool by Fabinho. And then Tsimikas into the box with Oxlade-Chamberlain. Back to Tsimikas again, and Liverpool forced to go back all the way towards the halfway line. We're at the halfway mark in this first half. 23 minutes gone. Brentford 1, Liverpool 0, and it will be Matt to take us through to half-time.
Yeah, cheers, Paul. Liverpool searching for a 5th league win in a row, but they're behind at Brentford. Not surprising either. They've so often fallen behind in this season. Only 3 clean sheets this season will not be added to once again. Having to come from behind, just like they did a few days ago against Leicester. This time, can they get the helping hand of an own goal? Have to create everything themselves. It's Thiago out to the right hand side into Elliott, right foot across to come in towards Nunez. Overhead kick attempts, it's touched down by Oxlade-Chamberlain, swipes at it, can't get a clean connection, steps forward, then there's a back heel into a Tsimikas. Low save by David Raya to his right hand side. It's a strong shot from Tsimikas, but perhaps should be going across him.
Should be going across him. I mean, Raya it wasn't the most comfortable save from Raya in any case, but you've got to credit Oxlade-Chamberlain there. He really was harrying to try and get that ball back for Liverpool. Wouldn't take no for an answer. In the end, he was forced to lay it off to Tsimikas. And I agree, shoots across the goalkeeper there. You've got much more chance of beating him, particularly putting all your power in through that left foot as well.
Absolutely. They may be missing a few attacking options as well. Roberto Firmino we didn't mention, but goal scoring has not necessarily been the issue. It's conceding as Van Dijk goes down in the box claiming, or Nunez, saying that there should be a penalty. Thiago leaves the ball to come out to the left now with Tsimikas, smashes across the face of goal, blocked up, bounced and caught by David Raya, and the linesman says that one stayed in play.
Well, Raya was clearly out of play himself, his body was, but he obviously must have pushed the ball forward enough, and the linesman is on that far side looking across there, so we'll have to to take his word for that it was the correct decision, but it certainly looked very close. And this is exactly what Liverpool need to do now, get in the faces of Brentford.
Yeah, in 25 minutes gone, it looks as though Liverpool should score tonight as Raya just clears the ball straight off Nunez. The way they've created chances already, I mean, Tsimikas has had that chance. I mean, Nunez had a 1v1 book for Ben Mee. That's going in the back of the net, and they've created chances. But Thiago's giving the ball away here down the right-hand side. They're breaking forward to Brentford. Potential shot opportunity as it's smashed off the back of Fabinho and goes out for a corner kick. It's Jensen breaking into the box. Probably should have hit the target.
Should have hit the target, and if he's not going to hit the target, he's got to pass this Matthias Jensen. He's got enough time. Wissa at one stage is marked, but then Wissa gets away. I think, in fairness, Alexander-Arnold using a bit of his experience there, just as Wissa was running past him, he just gave him a little push, just to make sure that Wissa couldn't stop himself in time to be onside there. But still, this is worrying for Liverpool that they've given the ball away a few times like that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is pointing towards a 3-3 again, isn't it? We could say 25 minutes into the game, we've had plenty of goal-scoring opportunities, and once again Brentford have a corner from the right-hand side, and Bumo to take it from the exact same place that they scored previously. Whipped into the same spot, flicked on near post, saved by Alisson, and then it's tapped. Is it? No, it's not. It's in the back of the net. 3 attempts at it, and it's Yoan Wissa once again, but the offside flag goes up. He was on the byline, wasn't he, as the ball was struck? But was there a Liverpool defender there as well? There were 3 opportunities. This could be a long VAR.
Yeah, it's going to be a while when we have the purple VAR screen up now, because they're going to have to work out a few things here before it's finally confirmed that it's offside or not. It's Mbumo's ball in. Well, nobody can be offside there because everybody's onside. Wissa's actually inside the goal when that save is made.
I must admit, I don't know the rule here, but Alexander-Arnold is on the goal line, as is Wissa, but Wissa has more of his body off the field of play.
It's going to be a difficult... I mean, I dare say that Stockley Park are going to be getting their rule book out now as well. But no, they've already done it very quickly, and they've decided that the goal is offside. I am a little bit surprised that they are able to make that decision, unless, as you say, that they've looked at it when the keeper's off his line, the last defender becomes the last man. So there's all kinds of other little nuances there as well. But as I say, there doesn't seem to be too much of a complaint from the Brentford side. So it may well be that they've seen that and decided that it's the right decision as well.
Yeah, I think you have to say that Alexander-Arnold and Wissa are level on the line, don't you? But then where the goalkeeper's proximity is might influence that. And yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see another look at it. We only got the one, really. But it's no goal for Brentford, but it's another warning for Liverpool. And another set piece on exactly the same side that it's come from. It's a real concern for Jurgen Klopp's side, who now have the ball down the left-hand side with Oxlade-Chamberlain driving forward with it, looking to go down the left against Zanka-Jorgensen. He puts a shoulder in, does well to force Oxlade-Chamberlain wider. Then in comes Jensen, wins the ball back for Brentford. He's now right inside his own corner quadrant as he flicks the ball off Oxlade-Chamberlain. And that one will certainly be a Brentford throw-in in a right-back position, as Josh Da Silva will give the ball to Jorgensen. Josh Da Silva is the second man, of course, who's replaced for today's game alongside Ivan Toney, with Wissa and Janel, the 2 men coming in. What a game we have in front of us in the Premier League. It's 28 minutes gone. It's Brentford 1, Liverpool 0, and Brentford are motoring once again to the left-hand side. Rico Henry receives it from Wissa. Goes down the line in towards Janel, but he turns backwards as Harvey Elliott presses up with Mo Salah. That leaves a free man in the middle. It's once again in towards the feet of Rico Henry, who's come forward. Konate steps in. Now Liverpool looking to break forward. Harvey Elliott just has to tap it back to Konate. Thiago's under pressure, not got a call, just about hooks it away. This game is on a frantic pace. It
is because Brentford can sense that Liverpool are being just a little bit tentative, perhaps a little bit nervous in defence, whilst Liverpool know they're up against a side that can be breached in terms of their defence as well. So it makes for a fascinating game in midfield now, with Brentford having this 1-goal lead.
Absolutely. Alexander-Arnold out to the right-hand side for Mo Salah. Fabinho with the overlapping run. There's Harvey Elliott, flicks it back towards Alexander-Arnold, out to the right to Fabinho. He's just hovering for the moment. He's usually in the centre of the field in this sort of position, but Thiago back to Konate. Now with Van Dijk inside the Brentford half. Oxlade-Chamberlain is short, as is Salah, and Harvey Elliott and Tsimikas are the 2 wide men at the moment. Here is Harvey Elliott. Inside on his left foot, it's methodical, it's slow from Liverpool, looking for those gaps. Fabinho, no. out to Elliott. Quick ball between those two again. Alexander-Arnold, first time ball in towards Oxlade-Chamberlain, goes over his head. Here's Tsimikas inside the box, looks to square it across the face of goal. Slices it, gets underneath it. Harvey Elliott then heads it back towards Mo Salah. Chests it down, turns inside the box. Does he go down? No, he doesn't. Good challenge in there from Rico Henry. It's good football from Liverpool, but really good scramble defending as well from Brentford.
Well, it's last ditch from Brentford, though, isn't it? And it's the only way they can manage it there, really, because Liverpool, again, had just players over, and it looked as though Salah was going to get a clean shot at goal. Just robbed it at last second. Another ball over the top as Oxlade-Chamberlain comes out, but so does David Raya. I'm
just looking at Oxlade-Chamberlain thinking, if he's brave there and goes with his head, perhaps could have flicked the ball away from the Spaniard, who could have cleared him out. I'd love to see another angle of that one, but it's good quick goalkeeping, isn't it, from David Raya once again. Has to be on his toes because Liverpool are dangerous with pace over the top, aren't they? As Raya goes out to the right-hand side, Roerslev battling with Tsimikas, comes off the Greek and out for a throw.
Well, that's the danger when you play against Liverpool, is that they've got the long ball opportunity, they've got the pace of the front men who can just go on a quick counter, whilst at the same time they can also break you down with slow and steady possession. So it really is you've really got to be on your guard when you come up against Liverpool, and Brentford have almost been caught out a couple of times.
They have, but at the moment they're holding their clean sheets as Jensen with a throw-in from the right-hand side. Just goes back for now to David Raya on halfway. Looks for the long ball towards the left-hand side of the box. Ben Mee is unchallenged, chests it down, hooks it back towards the box. I say towards the box, it's actually wide of the box in the end. And Zanka Jorgensen there can't get there. Alexander-Arnold sees the ball bounce out for a corner kick. And just as our cameras pan once again towards Yoan Wissa, here is a replay of that previous goal. Yes, the goalkeeper is forward, therefore there's only one man between Wissa and the
and Wissa is actually behind Alexander. Alexander-Arnold's body pretty much is entirely over the line on the pitch, if that makes sense, whereas Wissa is actually in the back of the net coming back onto the pitch. So, yeah, it was a bit of a scrape. It's one of those where I think pre-VAR that goal's just given. Because there'll be too much happening in a split second for the linesman to work it all out. But looking at it now, I think it does make sense.
It is the correct decision, but it's fortunate, isn't it, for Liverpool that Alisson had jumped forward. It's one of those the crazy melees. It
is, but then I suppose on the other hand, Brentford were fortunate to get the own goal that they did with the way that the ball sliced off Konate. And speaking of slicing, a fairly routine ball played into the Brentford penalty area. And Ethan Pinnock seemed to have all day to deal with that, but he shanks it with his left knee and gives Liverpool a corner kick now.
Yeah, they got a slice of luck last game against with Wout Faes, didn't they? Into the back of his own net. This time for Ethan Pinnock, fortunately for him, he slices it wide and out for a corner kick. Alexander-Arnold will leave this one to Konstantinos Tsimikas for the left-footed option from the corner kick. Konate and Virgil van Dijk around the penalty spot, as well as Fabinho and Darwin Nunez. Salah and Oxlade-Chamberlain are lurking too, as well as Thiago in front of the goalkeeper. Here comes Tsimikas whipping it into the 6-yard box. Konate's going for it. He misses his header, and it's cleared by Jensen at the near post in the end. One in the air by Harvey Elliott, down to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Distant shot from him. It bounces near the goalkeeper's feet. He gets down well and holds on to it.
He does well there, Raya. It was a decent effort from Oxlade-Chamberlain. He was a long way out there, but he really wanted to make sure he got it on target. So because of that, it was a measured effort, but it perhaps didn't have the power on it to really test Raya. The best chance for Liverpool in that last passage of play was the header from Konate. If he gets his full head to that, then I think that he would have powered it past David Raya. But here come Brentford now down the right-hand side.
Yeah, advantage played as Tsimikas and Wissa battle together. Thiago trying to put her foot in, but Fabinho wins it in the end. Here's Oxlade-Chamberlain, maybe looking for a ball over the top, drives through the middle of the park instead. Still going with the ball at feet, toes it out to the left-hand side. Darwin Nunez was racing forward, can't turn quick enough to recover that ball. And once again, a Liverpool counter-attack comes to nothing. But it was good work from Oxlade-Chamberlain initially. He just couldn't find that pass.
No, that was the problem, that he just couldn't quite get the ball out to carry on the move. But camera's now focusing on Stuart Atwell. He's had a fairly, I would say he's had a busy evening. There's not been a whole raft of fouls, but the game's been played at a very fast pace.
Yeah, I would suggest that it was potentially panning towards him due to that battle between Wissa and Tsimikas on this near time from that previous attack. But yeah, still Brentford 1, Liverpool 0. 33.5 minutes played. Independent off-tube studio commentary of this game. So we see Jurgen Klopp on the side.
Yeah, well, we can't obviously broadcast everything that Jurgen Klopp is saying, but certainly lip reading. I'm seeing the phrase "unbelievable" used about 3 or 4 times. He seems very frustrated about something there, as we can see the Brentford injured players there, a little bit amused perhaps by Klopp's frustrations there. We saw Tony and Christopher Aya and Aaron Hickey as well, all players that probably would be starting for Brentford this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. As Elliott whips the ball out to the right side, looking for Mo Salah, tries to control the ball down. Fortunately for him, It falls towards Alexander-Arnold. Elliott inside, opts to go to the Egyptian Salah. Down the right-hand side, poor ball from Salah, it has to be said, to try and find Elliott as he jumps over the ball and sees the ball go over the top of Ibrahima Konate's head and back towards Alisson. If you just joined us, it was Ibrahima Konate's own goal on the 19th minute, which has put Brentford ahead in this game. Just had a chance himself to score, but couldn't find connection with his head on ball from the corner kick. And as Liverpool still trail in this game. Trail is something they've done so often in this season. They did last game, looking to try and turn the scoreline around once again. Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side, feeds it inside to Fabinho. Good touch, tries to play it over the top to Salah. Does so. Ben Mee comes across. It's a percentage ball then from Salah, won back by Fabinho. Here's Harvey Elliott back out to Salah, right-hand side, up against two Brentford men. They're doubling up on the Egyptian. It's somehow bundled through towards Fabinho, then played back towards Salah once again. It's methodical Liverpool possession. It's whipped into the near post towards Salah and cleared away, towards Nunez, sorry, and cleared away easily by Brentford. In the end, things just came a little bit too cramped for Liverpool over on that far side as Van Dijk finds Thiago in a deep position now, has space in front of him to just drift into, but there's no real movement or succinct run from a Liverpool player in front of him. Here's Tsimikas down the left, back to Thiago Alcantara once again. And, it slows down again for Liverpool as Fabinho receives the ball, turns in midfield, looks out to the right hand side. He's asking Konate to make a run in front of him. Out to Salah. Elliott down the line, Alexander-Arnold inside, the pass is deflected, falls towards Alexander-Arnold, won back by Ben Mee, looking for an opportunity to play it. It does so into Norgard, looking over the top to the left-hand side for Wissa to try and run onto. Konate had enough sense about him to know where he was, but he's just dilly-dallied on the ball and now plays it back towards Alisson, edge of his box, not the greatest clearance, falls to a Brentford shirt. Will there be a shot coming forward? It's lifted over the top towards Wissa, as then its touch just goes too far in front of him. And Liverpool once again play themselves into trouble. Well,
the part, ironically, actually, that Janelt didn't want to shoot from 40 yards himself. He wanted to take a touch and then play it through to Wissa. Now the offside flag goes up, so if Wissa had scored from that, it wouldn't have counted. But Janelt obviously didn't back himself to hit that one early, but just goes to show that Brentford are able to get this extra pressure on Liverpool, as we can see the Iranian attacking midfielder Sam Godos getting some words from Thomas Frank. He's one of the substitutes for Brentford, so it would seem that they're thinking about maybe a half-time change.
Potentially, yeah, absolutely. He is a player that came on, didn't he, and scored a left-footed goal against West Ham. Maybe it just be something that he's expecting Godos to come on at some point as Thiago flicks the ball over the top. It's off the shoulder of Oxlade-Chamberlain, played back towards the goalkeeper by Zanka Jorgensen. A few half-hearted claims for a pass back, but it was more of a clearance, wasn't it?
Collector's item these days. I'm old enough to remember when goalkeepers, those poor old goalkeepers from the 80s, having to be told in the early 90s they have to kick the ball, they're not allowed to pick it up anymore, and then you used to see them every week. But now it seems like even when they're quite blatant, the referee still doesn't give it. And it's one of those where I think that you really have to have a defender turning and facing his goalkeeper and rolling the ball to him for it to be given as a back pass, because everything else now seems to be let go.
Yeah, there was even one in the World Cup final between France and Argentina. It's, one of the Argentinian defenders, I think, maybe Romero, just dropped on the ball and kneed it back to the goalkeeper in the latter stages. But
that's right. The Argentine sports press gave the Polish referee 8 out of 10 for his performance. L'Equipe gave him 2 out of 10. So I think there you go. It's no surprise. I thought we had a fairly good game in the World Cup, although there were a couple of decisions that were questionable, and I think the first penalty was probably a bit soft as well.
Tsimikas on the left-hand side for Liverpool with around about 7 and a bit minutes to go before added time at the end of the first half, as referee Stuart Atwell says no foul on this near side, as there's a dangerous ball there as Rico Henry jumps into a challenge to Alexander-Arnold, who's claiming for a free kick. He's hurt himself here. Is this ball going to be put in here from Brentford to the far post? Tsimikas battling for it, flicks it away. Chance for a corner kick again for Brentford, perhaps. Liverpool are saying that Tsimikas was fouled as well as Alexander-Arnold, but nothing was given in the end, and the Greek looks rather forlorn to the decision.
Well, he does. I think that Brentford just seem to stop. I mean, both sets of players seem to stop and look towards the referee. This is Rico Henry colliding with Alexander-Arnold. He seems to be just limping a little bit after that. And then it's a good jump in the end from Tsimikas to get there ahead of Jensen to make sure it's only a corner kick to Brentford.
Yeah, you often see those given as free kicks, don't you, in the final stages of the game where a player wins the ball, but not on this occasion. And once again, it's from this right-hand side for Brentford is this corner routine. They've caused Liverpool all sorts of issues, and it's Brian Mbeumo with his left foot over it once again. Can they create another opportunity? Whipped in this time towards the far stick, free header. No, it's chested down by Wissa, struck towards goal! goal! It's a brilliant goal for Brentford once again. Wissa has the ball in the net for the second time this evening, and this time it will stand.
Well, this time it will stand, but where were the Liverpool defenders standing? That's the question there. And we can see that Alisson is coming out off his line. I'm not quite sure whether he's remonstrating with an official or with his own players there, but it just seemed far too easy here for Wissa. He gets the touch inside the box and then is able to finish, but he had so much time to do that. Liverpool really letting themselves down from that corner kick. And we'll see from this replay here, it's an in-swinger from Mbeumo. He sort of arcs away towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Wissa takes it down and fires it towards goal. I mean, there's a question of whether there's an offside, potentially because there's a Brentford player. If this, oh God, if this strikes Ben Mee, this is going to be disallowed. So potentially it's going to be, there's going to be an offside flag here. So the let-off there for Liverpool.
Yeah, another let-off. It's definitely struck the right leg of Ben Mee, hasn't it? The two men involved in every single goal, Wissa and Ben Mee, and he's just behind Virgil van Dijk's trailing left foot from my eye anyway. Of course, they will draw the lines. It's a very, very close decision. It looked as though Wissa is reaching for the ball, isn't he, with his right toe, and I think it may have been going wide had it not been for Ben Mee. Of course, we're seeing the zooming in angles, but we don't see the lines anymore. It looks offside, though.
It does. I mean, I can't really see how they would decide that it isn't offside based on the two replays that we've seen, unless they're looking for something else. But I can't. Well, he's got to be offside. Of course he is. I mean, his entire body is behind Konate, so it's another let-off for Liverpool.
3 corners from the right-hand side. First one, an own goal from Konate. Second one, a disallowed goal for Wissa. Third one, a disallowed goal for Wissa or Ben Mee, either way. It's terrible defending from Liverpool from set pieces. They're supposed to be a good set-piece side. They've scored the most goals level, I can't remember who with this season, I think maybe Fulham, from set pieces in attacking. But in defending, this is just horrendous from them. Every single time Brentford are creating an opportunity. They
are, yes. And I must admit, it's taken a lot longer than it should have done, really, for that decision to be confirmed. But it is now confirmed as an offside. And it's a free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, absolutely. 41 minutes gone. It's still Brentford 1, Liverpool 0. They've had the ball in the back of the net 3 times, though. Liverpool need to reshape at half-time, but that's if they can get to half-time without conceding another. Rod cross from the right-hand side. Free man at far post. Wissa heads down. Saved by Alisson. Did he go over the line? All eyes on the referee. He will point to the spot. Goal.
Unbelievable. Liverpool gave the ball away from the free kick that they were given after Brentford's goal was disallowed. The free kick for Liverpool inside the box was played over towards Liverpool's left. They lose the ball. Brentford goes straight up towards the edge of the area, put the ball in, head it into the back of the net. It doesn't reach the back of the net because Alisson does get his hand to it, but then it does cross the line, and Jurgen Klopp is that sort of, it's that almost sort of angry head, nod of the head. Is like, oh, I see, it's going to be like this, is it? Because his side have just been let off for conceding a goal that was given as offside. From that free kick, they gave the ball away. The ball is whipped in, and there's not going to be any VAR saving a Liverpool this time.
No, absolutely not. It's a brilliant effort from Alisson to save it, but he is just standing there wondering what his teammates are doing, because all 10 outfielders have just been terrible in this first half in terms of conceding goals. It's just a simple ball into the box. He's onside this time, it's Wissa. He's behind Konate, inside Trent Alexander-Arnold. Nobody knows who to pick up who. And within 42 minutes in this game, Brentford have had 4 goals, 2 chalked off. It's 2-0.
What I found fascinating was the replay we've just seen. It showed the big screen in the middle of Brentford Stadium, which still had the purple VAR screen showing that the previous goal for Brentford had just been disallowed. But they're going to have to reboot that very quickly, because now Brentford are 2 up and they've won the ball back from Liverpool. They're on the attack again.
Yeah, down the left-hand side. Oh, it's a poor ball this time from Rico Henry. Just brimming with so much adrenaline, this Brentford side. That ball just went down the left-hand side. It's going to be 2-0, if not worse, for Liverpool at the break. He was mouth agape, wasn't he, Jurgen Klopp? Just like, how or what is happening to my defensive team? He cannot believe it. I don't know who he's having a go with right now. It could be anybody.
I did read Ox at the start of that, so he's obviously trying to give something to Oxlade-Chamberlain, but I mean, he's going to need more than 15 minutes to fix all of this, Jurgen Klopp. But it's his side. If they can get a goal back here before half-time, it at least perhaps spares them a little bit of the berating that Klopp's likely to give them. But the pass from Tsimikas picked off here by Jensen, but Brentford still loses, so Liverpool's still in possession.
Yeah, you never know. This game has been crazy. Anything could still happen, couldn't it? Liverpool could nick one before half-time. Brentford could go 3-0 up. You never quite know. As Harvey Elliott out to the right-hand side in towards Trent Alexander-Arnold. Here is Mo Salah attacking Rico Henry, chips it inside towards Nunez, touches it, gives it back towards the Egyptian, flick back towards Nunez, whipped into the front post, turned away by Pinnock, chested down by Elliott, lifts it back into the box, asking somebody to attack it. Tsimikas, who heads towards goal. That one's tame though, and easily caught by David Raya once again. Is another shot for Liverpool, but it's Tsimikas who's gambled forward, and it's just not a good enough header. He's never going to score from that.
No, he's not, but at least it's some sort of attacking response from Liverpool. The camera now spending as much time focusing on Jurgen Klopp as it is actually on the action on the pitch. And as I say, he's got Gomez, Phillips, Jones, Keita, Matip, Robertson, Carvalho, Bajcetic and goalkeeper Kelleher to work with. Brentford, by the way, I didn't mention their bench. It's Madsbeck, Sorensen, De Silva, Trevitt, Canos, Godos, Lewis Potter, Kramer, Damsgaard and goalkeeper Strakosha on the bench for the Bees this evening. And we're going to get, I would imagine, at least 3 or 4 minutes of injury time here.
Yeah, just for the VAR decisions, if nothing else. Did hear that Nathan Jones, of course, new manager at Southampton, only 3 games in, not good results for them. Was he mentioned in the media that he'd shown his team defensive set-piece routines against a certain team about 3 or 4 times, and the exact same situation happened in the game. I am sure that Liverpool will have seen that set-piece routine before from Brentford, but 3 times they've fallen for it.
They have. I suppose it's just when it's that buzz on the pitch and everything's happening and players are milling around, and sometimes perhaps players lose their concentration, but it's no excuse really. They should have been prepared for that kind of variant, and we're going to only get 3 minutes of injury time.
Yeah, Liverpool needing some leadership in this game. Henderson not available today due to concussion, so Virgil van Dijk has the armband, but it's his defensive line that has just been ripped apart today from set pieces by Brentford. Burmo on the ball, holding things up in midfield. Good work from him. Does well to just hold off Tsimikas. Smashed forward then by David Raya. 3 minutes of added time we will have as the ball bounces out over on the far side for Ibrahima Konate to come across and take this one. And he takes it in such a frustrated manner, just launches the ball at the ground and allows it to spin forward towards Alisson. He's the man that conceded the first goal in this game, the own goal. Rather unfortunate for him. Nobody in front of him tacked the ball, but nor did he. Tried to turn it around with his left leg, and it just bounced off his left knee and dribbled past the reaching Alisson to the bottom left-hand corner. Oxlade-Chamberlain now out to the left in towards Thiago Alcantara. Just chops inside of Jensen for now, looking for movement, looking for an option. Then Cruyff turns to the left-hand side, now passes it into Tsimikas. He looks inside, finds Fabinho. Liverpool looking to just nick one before the break, and nick it would be. What a different story this could have been if Darwin Nunez had turned one into the back of net, but for the leg of Ben Mee, whipped in by Alexander-Arnold, near post, controlled by Harvey Elliott. Then with Mo Salah, edge of the box to the left-hand side now with Thiago, steps over the ball. He's got Tsimikas to the left, clips it inside himself to the far post. Rico Henry covering in before Harvey Elliott can get there. It's ingenuity, isn't it, from Thiago, but nobody read it as he flicked that one forward. That one's poor, though. Flicked inside then by Jensen, just gifting the ball back to Liverpool. They're under siege again.
They are, and it's... what Jensen was doing, I've got no idea. He would have been better off just turning and hoofing that one towards the Liverpool penalty area than just trying to flick it on and leaving it for an opposition player. But this is what Liverpool needed to have done after they conceded the first goal. Just really swamp Brentford and make it as difficult as possible for the Bees to get out of their own half. But that pass from Thiago picked off by Wissa, and Liverpool having to go back again.
Yeah, absolutely. Wissa's enjoying his evening, isn't he? He enjoyed it last season with scoring that equaliser late on in this game to make it 3-3. Alexander-Arnold, quick 1-2 with Konate, stepping into midfield. Dangerous play. Plays it into Nunez, out to the right-hand side to Alexander-Arnold, and just fires it out of play. Just not on the same wavelength here. Liverpool are so frustrated. I think now Nunez can't believe that Alexander-Arnold's not going down that line. He's so tentative because they conceded 2 already that he's not gambling to go forward as we see another replay of that chance.
It's ironic, isn't it? Because really, when you're 2 down, you probably have to gamble that little bit more rather than gamble less. But as we can see again, this great chance from Nunez, which was stopped on the line, and the game could have looked very different had it been for that. But Nunez has missed more big chances than anybody in the Premier League this season as he ranges forward down the right-hand side. His run is stopped and the half is stopped. Stuart Atwell calls time on the first half here at the Gtech Community Stadium, where Brentford lead against Liverpool by 2 goals to 0, following an own goal from Konate and a goal from Wissa. Myself and Matt will be back for you in 15 minutes.